the greatest city in the world. It's The Late Show with David Letterman. Tonight, former President Bill Clinton, music from Chromeo, and the merengue dancing dog. Plus, Paul Schaefer and the CBS Orchestra. And now, hottest name in men's hosiery, David Letterman.
Just got a call from the polar bears at the zoo in Central Park.
Yeah?
Wanted to know if I could turn up the damn heat. Beautiful day here in New York City, isn't it, ladies and gentlemen? Lovely day. Sunny day, I'm walking down Broadway. I saw Lady Gaga wearing a meat visor.
Meat visor. Meat visor.
I didn't even like saying that. Well, you know what's going on, and believe me, New York City is the kind of town where something is always going on. The world leaders meeting at the UN, annual event at the UN, and they got together, had their opening meeting, and they all agree on one thing. And thank God we can agree on one thing. And you know what they agreed on? Superman has got to do more. Got to do more. Iranian President Mahmoud Ahmadinejad is in town. He, as you know, he hates Jews and gay people. Boy, is he in the wrong place. Mahmoud kicked things off with a hate-filled rant and hors d'oeuvres. Did I mention hors d'oeuvres? All of the tiny dictators have arrived in town. Ahmadinejad, Kim Jong-il, Mayor Bloomberg, they're all... I don't know if you know this about Mayor Bloomberg, but the guy is crazy wealthy, independently wealthy. He's got like billions and billions and billions of dollars. And over the weekend in the paper, they say in the last 10 years, he's only bought one pair of shoes. All that money and will not spend a nickel on... No, that's Regis. I'm sorry, forget it. But no, it's true. The mayor has only 2 pairs of shoes in 10 years, will not spend the money on shoes. And you know what? He spends all his money on lifts.
That's where the money goes.
Hello. Hey, how about the NFL season? Great to have football back, ladies and gentlemen. Anybody see the Brett Favre Minnesota game? Oh, man. Late in the game, did you see this? Brett Favre, a desperate situation, drops back and passed a kidney stone. Did you see that? What a game. Things are starting to heat up now, aren't they, buddy? Yeah! TV reminder earlier tonight, Dancing with the Stars kicked off another big season. I like watching the dance. I get a group of people together, and we try to figure out who the stars are.
That's right.
But you know who's on this year? Sarah Palin's daughter, Bristol Palin, is on Dancing with the Stars. Yeah. And I'm telling you something, you can't get any bigger star than the daughter of a vice presidential loser. That's as good as it gets there. How about this, the politics? It's getting crazy now. The woman, the Republican candidate from Delaware, Christine O'Donnell, it turns out she's a practicing witch.
Well...
And if she wins and goes to the Senate, she'll be the first practicing witch in Washington since, well, Barbara Bush, I think. I shouldn't say that. Barbara Bush, of course, was a lovely woman and also the Quaker Oats guy. But Christine O'Donnell says that she once had a date on a satanic altar. Huh? Well, who hasn't? You know what I mean? She looks a lot like, have you seen her? She looks a lot like Sarah Palin, and you know what that means? More work for Tina Fey. So that's right. That'll be exciting. Now, it's fascinating because she talks about being a witch, and it's not, you would think that this is, but it's not. It's not the first time that a national politician, you're thinking it's the first time. I know you are. It's not the first time we've had somebody in national politics who was a witch. Oh. You know what I'm talking about. Please tell me you know what I'm talking about, right? What? Yeah, you know. Well, here, watch. Let me refresh your memory.
Okay.
July 15, 1979. President and amateur warlock Jimmy Carter casts a spell which turns him into an iguana.
The erosion of our confidence in the future.
This has been Politicians and Witchcraft.
A lot of people say that Paul Schaefer. There he is, ladies and gentlemen, Paul Schaefer.
Thank you, David. Thanks, everybody. Play that guitar, Felicia Collins.
President Bill Clinton is on the program. We'll be right back with tonight's top 10, everybody.
Just ahead, President Bill Clinton. Highlight of my weekend, I changed the bag in my vacuum cleaner. I'm so very lonely. Stay with us, Bucky.
Some say we manufacture the toughest, most reliable, most drivable cars. But at Mitsubishi, we think we're building much, much more. Mitsubishi, drive it Earth. Right now, get 0% purchase financing for up to 72 months.
I want to rock! I just wanted to dance, wanted to get up.
If you want to relive the 80s, you come and watch the show.
The best thing I've ever seen.
Rock and roll, comedy, and Broadway all in one.
It was the best rock show I've seen in Toronto.
I was just rocking along in my seat. Would see it again.
Yeah, I liked it.
I want my kids to know what it was like, how I grew up. This way, they can see it.
By the end of the show, everyone is just going nuts. You want more by the end.
Rock of Ages at the Royal Alexandra Theater.
There's nothing more inspiring than the perfect colors.
The perfect colors are all here in Designer Series Paint by Beauty Tone.
Exclusively at Home Hardware
and Building Center locations.
Rich, inspirational colors with no primer required.
Yet independent, laboratory-tested quality in every can.
More scrubbable, more stain-resistant, more durable.
Get the finest quality with Designer Series Paint by Beauty Tone. Exclusively at Home Hardware and Building Center locations.
Must be 18 years of age.
I'm a cougar, she's a cougar. Well, cougars men love cougars. Don't you wanna date a cougar too? Date a cougar. I'm a cougar, she's a cougar. Well, cougars men love cougars. Don't you wanna date a cougar too? Date a cougar. CougarLife.com. Date a cougar. CougarLife.com. Date a cougar. Don't you wanna date a cougar too?
CougarLife.com. Recently voted the wildest dating service in Canada. Join for free now.
Real wood floors. Real beauty. For real life. For excellence in hardwood, choose Satin Finish hardwood floors. Available at Weston Flooring. located at Weston Road in Langstaff in Woodbridge.
It plays. It stows. It has best-in-class rear leg room and the best highway fuel efficiency rating. It sees. It calls. And it starts at less than 28 grand. We gave it more ideas per square inch because more is what we do. Terrain, the compact crossover from GMC.
Brickworks. Many are calling this Toronto's next big tourism destination. Jeff Cape, what is this place?
Well, we've converted this old industrial site and we're creating a national center for green cities, a place where citizens of Toronto can come down into the valley and here and learn about environmental issues of all sorts.
And you've got a fundraiser coming up, Wild in the City, right?
Yeah, generous thanks to our major sponsor, Wholesome Canada.
So for more info, evergreen.ca. Thank you, Jeff.
Thank you.
Paul Schaefer and the Shave Tones,
featuring Felicia,
America's mighty, mighty party and show band. It's always extra exciting around here when we have a president of the United States, and not the least of which is the security. I don't know if you folks know about this, but what these people are good at is being invisible. The Secret Service, they're here, but you don't know they're here.
Right.
So they were nice enough to let us videotape some of the, as the audience came in.
Oh, really?
Just to give you an idea how these guys operate, it's pretty slick. This is the audience coming in earlier. Watch.
Please step to the side, sir.
That was just the guy just making the noise. I know.
Seems to be doing it just with his voice.
I know. Here's something, ladies and gentlemen. I'm telling you, this is why there is the internet. Well, this is the second reason why there is the internet. Do me a favor now. All the way from Santiago, Chile, I want you to welcome Jose Fuentes and his golden retriever, Carrie, and they'll be presenting a traditional merengue. Take it away, kids. Here we go. Fantastic. Fantastic, ladies and gentlemen. One more time. Let's go again. Bring up the thing. Here they are. Here we are. Now, I don't want to get you nuts, but when we come back, the dog will be here, the guy will be here, I'll be here, President Clinton will be here, and we'll... Wait a minute, you haven't heard anything yet. And we'll all be dancing the merengue. We'll be right back.
El Tabador! Join me in the fight for phone freedom! Super Pop. I'm bringing it back.
100% thick caramel. Mars Caramel.
For Captain and Colas. So, how long do you think before they realize we're gone?
Hey, here we go.
We got all night.
Captain Morgan. Got what it takes to be a captain?
So it's your night to cook and everybody in your family wants something different. Well, I can show you how to spend less time in this cage called a kitchen and more time helping your son out with his art project.
Nice drawing, Jeremy.
Thanks, Dad.
It's called finger cooking. Just go to bostonpizza.com. With over 100 menu items, everybody gets what they want. Come on, guys. Let's give cooking the finger. At bostonpizza.com.
I was a little skeptical before I started using Dove. I was dancing with this guy. I was like, oh no, sweat, hair. Help me! I thought I'd try it. It feels softer, it feels smoother, it feels fantastic. This actually works. I mean, look, one less thing that I really have to worry about. I feel fabulous. I would give it to everybody. I would give it to anybody. I love it. I absolutely love it.
At Intact Insurance Company, we think the best way to protect you is to put ourselves in your place. When your car needs repair after a collision, you want to be certain the job will be done right. At Intact Insurance, we'll guarantee the workmanship done by our Rely network for as long as you own your car. Sound like the kind of insurance company you want? Then talk to your broker about us. Intact Insurance. You're back.
My wife drops this bomb on me. She looks at me, she says, she's thinking there must be another woman. There wasn't.
They say the world is getting smaller, but they have never tried getting here. The all-new 2011 Jeep Grand Cherokee. Crafted and designed for a world without limits. It will take you there. Will you go?
Accelerate your breath.
Keep holding tightly and don't let go.
Wherever you go, whatever you eat goes with you.
As we head into
Chewing Excel freshens your breath, so you can get closer.
spinning as we go.
Accelerate your breath.
Bruce Kapler, ladies and gentlemen, Paul Schaefer. Tremendous job.
Oh, we're right here for you.
I'll tell you, that dog's in it better than anything that's in that Dancing with the Stars. They wish they had that dog over there.
I'm telling you, they can't get him.
No, they can't get him. Can't touch that
Can't
dog.
afford him.
No, can't. Hey, let me tell you something. They can't afford it.
Can't afford the travel.
Our first guest served 2 terms as the 42nd President of the United States. His Clinton Global Initiative holds its annual meeting this week right here in New York City. Please welcome President Bill Clinton, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. President, thank you for being here. You look fantastic. I didn't know you as a kid, but you look like a kid. You look like you're in tremendous, you look like you're in tremendous shape. I bet this is what you looked like in high school, isn't it?
Well, I weigh what I did in high school.
Yeah, that's what I thought. How, well, it's none of my business, but how much have you lost?
This morning, 24 pounds.
Wow.
As of when I started.
Yeah, good for you. And you feel good?
Great.
Yeah. You and I had the same surgery. I had a quintuple bypass. You had a quadruple bypass.
Mm-hmm.
And then you had a little tune-up, right? What was
stent.
that? Yeah.
I lost a vein.
Mm-hmm.
And so they put a stent, 2 stents in one of my blocked arteries, and so I got serious about this. I'd read all those books I should have read after the surgery,
right.
and I changed my diet accordingly, and the weight loss was sort of a side benefit.
Yeah. Now, do you have coronary artery disease? Is that what you have?
Well, I don't process cholesterol very well, and my arteries tend to block,
yeah.
and I form calcium deposits around the heart.
Right.
But, you know, since the mid-'80s, hundreds of people have gone through an experiment where they give up everything that produces cholesterol, basically on a plant-based diet, and take protein supplements, and 82% of them that have done it for 8 months or more have seen their bodies start to heal themselves.
Is that right?
Clear out the blockage, break up the calcium. So I figured, you know, my daughter was getting married, and I needed to look good walking her down the aisle, so I decided to be a medical experiment and see if I'd be one of them.
So that's what you did?
Yeah, and yeah. Now, you know, I just got the biggest benefit of it. I was backstage during the break, and your dancing dog asked me to be her partner on Dancing with the Stars.
Tremendous, ladies and gentlemen. Whoa. Tremendous.
You know, at my age, a girl never asked you to dance with them, so it was a heck of a deal.
You mentioned a big summer. I think I read the beginning of the summer where you and the family have moved. You have a new home, so that was a big change.
No, we didn't move.
Didn't move?
It was a rumor. But it was a rumor.
That was not true then?
No, we're still where we were.
Okay.
I like it there.
Well, I got the truck. If you know, let me know.
I will.
But bigger news, your daughter, you added a member to the family. Your daughter, Chelsea, is happily married now. Congratulations on that. Yeah. What was the...
She's really happy.
Tremendous responsibility being a parent, and having people at the highest profile of public figures and awareness. That must be nearly impossible. Everybody points to what a great job you and your wife did with your daughter. How do you keep that in proper perspective, proper balance?
Well, I don't know. I give a lot of credit to her mother, and I give a lot of credit to her, but we worked at it. We always tried to make her feel special and that she was loved, but not special because of who her parents were. Mm-hmm. And I think she lives that way. And, you know, I don't think it's not really mysterious. Kids keep score, they pay attention, and you need to be there for them. Mm-hmm. And they know if you have to work. They get that. But I think that, you know, there was a study about, 15, 20 years ago about people who made it against all the odds. Every one of them had a caring adult in their lives who made them feel like they were the most important person in the world to them. I don't think this is really rocket science, but I do give a lot of credit to my daughter and to her mother, but we worked at it, and we only were able to have one child, and we really always thought it was our most important job. Yeah. Hillary and I both did.
Oh, good. That's a great thing to be able to say. What about the guy?
The guy?
Yeah. What's his deal? Is he, you like the guy?
Yeah, I've known him since he was in high school.
Mm-hmm.
He and Chelsea were the closest of friends for half their lives. They never even went out till about 3 years ago.
Right.
And they either fell madly in love or realized they always had been and just didn't know it. Mm-hmm. But it's a wonderful thing because they know each other so well. They went through all those tough high school years, all those college years as very, very close friends. And it's quite wonderful to see them together, to see the relationship they have. I feel very blessed that he's a good man. I not only care for him, but I genuinely admire him. He's a good man.
If I were in your position, here's how I would want this. I'd want him to be a little scared.
Well,
is he?
I don't think so. He was good enough to come and ask for my permission, however.
Oh.
Which I appreciate.
Yeah, that's very nice.
You know, it's sort of an old-fashioned thing in this day and age, but it's the kind of person he is. It really meant a lot to me.
Yeah.
But like I said, I've known him since he was a boy, and I've watched him grow up. I watched him do some remarkable things, and he's a truly good man.
So now you've balanced out the family. You have 2 women, 2 men.
Yeah, I finally have a chance. You know, that was my main goal was to have a chance. Hillary wanted this marriage because she wants to be a grandmother more than she wanted to be president. You know, she really she wants to be a grandmother. So I don't know.
Wow. And it'd be good to have an extra guy around when you move. Are you sure you didn't move?
Not yet. You know, I'm becoming kind of a coot in my old age. I don't really want to move.
I know what you mean.
You know,
I like things to be just about the same every dang day.
Yeah. I don't mind changing what I learn and do and where I visit, but I like to know there's a nest I can return.
I feel the same way. Let's talk a little bit about, let me give you my point of view on this. As a person grows older, and God knows I'm not representative of anybody but me, you like to think that if you're in a position of even minor influence, that you have the opportunity to move the needle, you know, to make a difference. You know, as you get older, you want to think, well, did I make a difference for people and help people? You take a look at this Clinton Global Initiative. It's remarkable in such a short period of time how many people you've affected, how much good you have done, and the momentum for big people, small people, corporations, individuals. It's a remarkable thing. You must feel that way about it.
Yeah, I do. In some ways, it may be the most enduring part of what I do after I left the presidency, because all we do is to try to create networks of people who actually meet and talk through these big problems and then promise to do something. And then we webcast it, so we give people who may have $5 or $10 an hour a week to volunteer a chance to be a part of all these things. And in 5 years, we've raised commitments that have helped 220 million people in 170 countries. And over a 10-year period, they're worth $57 billion. And I had no idea any of this would happen. This year we have people coming from 90 countries, and it's all we ask people to do is to make a commitment. There's no minimum, but spend some money, spend some time, give some expertise, but don't just talk about this stuff anymore. Do something. And it's the act of doing, I think, that's so exhilarating to people.
Yeah, and you mentioned the sum, the 10-year sum, $57 billion. Now, that's real money, and that can go a long ways to solving problems or improving people's lives. That's one thing, but also I remember from previous visits you talk about if a person has an idea, a small idea, a big idea, a ridiculous idea, a sound idea, they can come to the initiative and present the idea.
Absolutely, and then we try to get money for them. We have this commitments office. It now meets year-round. It works every day, year-round. And we have something called action networks on things people really care about, like clean energy, Haiti, empowering women and girls around the world. And a group of people that are part of our global initiative, they meet all year long, and they keep trying to come up with new ideas, and then get these commitments ready for the meeting. Mm-hmm. So that also is making a real difference, because a lot of people would give a little money, but they don't want to foolishly blow it, especially in this economy. A lot of people, even in this stressful time, will give some time, but they want it to be meaningful. And so we just try to create a network and then give them all the information we have about what works.
Right. I mean, there's nothing wrong with writing a check and sending it off to some place that needs money. There's nothing wrong with that. But really, ultimately, if you can get your feet on the ground and actively do something, take a step or two in the direction of helping somebody one-on-one or whatever the percentage is, that really is what we're talking about here.
Let me just give you an example of a little thing, relatively speaking. This summer was a tough summer for young people in America who needed summer jobs. A lot of businesses just couldn't afford to hire them. So one of our commitments is going to hire a few hundred people next summer, mostly in northern Manhattan, Harlem and north, to go around and whitewash the roofs of all the flat, old tar paper roofs. Believe it or not, that one thing will dramatically cut their electric bills, cut greenhouse gas emissions, save money for the people in the building, and give these kids something to do. The reason I like the project is it's not very expensive, and that's something that could be done in every neighborhood in New York and in every neighborhood in every city in America that has a lot of old buildings with tar roofs. You just whitewash them. Even if you can't afford to sod them or plant gardens on them or anything else, it makes a huge difference. And you could put an awful lot of people to work. You can even make a lot of full-time jobs out of it for people that don't have work today.
Right. And the idea is simply that it reflects the heat rather than absorbs the heat?
Yeah, it reflects the heat instead of absorbs it, cools the roof, therefore dramatically reduces the strain on the air conditioning, and you save a lot of money.
To start this global initiative, you had to be president first, right? I mean, could a person without that experience start this?
Maybe not, because what I tried to do was to get the world leaders that were coming to the UN. This year we have 40 presidents, prime ministers, kings, and 24 former heads of state or government, with business people and leaders of these non-governmental groups and philanthropists and others. And they come from, as I said, 90 countries this year. Most of the United States, about 60% from here, but then all over the world. And it's a unique combination. But after that, like, I do a lot of work with my own foundation all over the world in AIDS, malaria, building health systems, economic projects in Latin America and Africa. And, we do a lot of this work. And in America, we do a lot of work on small business development, fighting childhood obesity. I never try to raise any money for my projects here. All I try to do is bring them together and create networks and let them figure out what to do. Who's going to, and we do have to raise money for projects that are really worthwhile that don't have any. It's so rewarding because you can really, and we keep score. And not everything we do works, and then we stop and go do something else. But these people are, everybody who participates in it, even the people who follow it by webcast, love it. And now we've started doing it for university students. We've had 3 university meetings at Tulane, the University of Texas, University of Miami. Next April, we're going to have our 4th one at the University of California, San Diego. We'll have, we had people from 70 countries there, students in Miami, and we'll have more in San Diego. So it's exciting. They don't have a lot of money at all, but they have unbelievable ideas.
Yeah. I don't want to blow my own horn, but I have a small foundation, and we're pretty successful at teaching dogs to dance. And it's on the website. We'll be right back with President Clinton, ladies and gentlemen.
My baby left me. I found a place to dwell.
Closed captioning is brought to you in part by Medic School. Your career in healthcare is waiting. Be job ready in months. medicschool.ca.
It's 2010. Weren't we supposed to have time machines by now? I mean, if we at Coke Zero can give the world real Coke taste with 0 calories, why can't science give us an unlimited supply of do-overs?
Man, you dance like a man.
I dance like a man?
What? No, wait.
We've bent the rules of taste. Physicist, isn't it time to bend time?
Da, 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 da.
When you throw a party, you should get to enjoy it too. That's why the GE Profile Series Double Oven Range lets you set 2 separate temperatures at once, so you can warm your apple pie at the same time you bake your lasagna. And when you have appliances that take care of details like that, you can take time to enjoy yourself. GE Profile Series. Are you ready to enjoy? Save up to $1,400 until October 31st. Offer valid at participating retailers.
Time is running out to get the Honda you've always wanted at the most unbelievable prices of the year. Right now, during the Honda year-end sales event, get up to $6,000 off the cash purchase price on select 2010 models. Honda quality and reliability are everyday events, but the year-end sale is definitely not. For these amazing deals plus great lease offers, hurry into your local Honda dealer before it's too late. The Honda year-end sales event ends September 30th.
We're all different. And in all our lives, there's different things we need to protect. Our families, or our income should something happen. Our home, our getting away from home. We need a way to protect what we've created and protect the way we get from A to B. Insurance advice so right for you, you call it My Advice. RBC, insurance advice for your life.
This is going to be good.
Oh, I heard about that. I should have put these up earlier. This is it. This is the big moment. There it is. A once-in-a-lifetime deal. Congratulations. And I'm told you made it through without, you were afraid that you might weep a little. How did that go? You were able to hold it together?
I was, for two reasons. One is, I wanted it to be about her, not me.
Sure.
And the second is, she had a really big dress, and I didn't want to step on it. So I had to concentrate on starting out about 4 inches ahead of her, and then I had to stay in step.
Wow, look at this. That's nice. There you go. How about that, by gosh? There's the happy family.
They both look beautiful there, don't they?
Yeah, everything's good there. And this is at the new place? You talk about, it seems to me, this seems to anybody, that the list of trouble in the world keeps getting longer. I mean, you have Hurricane Katrina, and then 5 years later, you have the British petroleum oil spill. You have the earthquake in Haiti. Then you have the floods in Pakistan. Is there any way to quantify this? Are things getting worse, or does it just seem that way?
Well, there is, in the last decade, we don't have the figures for this one yet. In the last decade, insurance payments for natural disasters were 3 times what they had been in any previous decade. And I think it's just a function of climate change. There's going to be more extreme weather events. Now, on the earthquakes, we had one in Chile and one here. And then, you know, there was one in Pakistan shortly after the tsunami over there. That's largely a function of the way the tectonic plates move in the crust of the earth. And the Caribbean is a big earthquake zone. And it erupts every couple of hundred years. You have a few. So I don't attribute that so much to climate change. But these other things, you're going to have more storms as a result of the dramatic shifts in the climate, the melting of the ice caps in Greenland, the summer clearance in the North Pole, the big chunks coming off the South Pole. All this climate change stuff is real, and I know a lot of people want to deny it, and they think we can't afford to deal with it now that the economy's bad. But the truth is, I believe changing the way we produce and consume energy is the #1 thing we could do to explode the American economy again. I think we could bring back manufacturing to America, have enormous economic growth. When I leave you, I'm going over to an electric car exhibit that's part of our global initiative. We have 4 electric car manufacturers in America making cars, bringing manufacturing jobs back to this country. And I think it's conceivable that within 5 years we'll have as many car companies as we did before the mass consolidation early in the 20th century that left us with the big three. So it's just a question of whether you see this as an opportunity or a burden. But to me, I spent all my time trying to prove to people it's good economics to do this kind of stuff.
I'll tell you why this is fascinating to me, because I had the same notion, and like you said earlier, it's not rocket science. How do you get this to be a national, a global priority when we are still a petroleum-based planet?
Well, look at our trade deficit, for example. Half our trade deficit is from imported oil. So we don't want to get rid of oil for everything. Oil is a base of a lot of products in America. Petroleum's in a lot more than gasoline. But if we could stop importing so much, it would free us up politically as well as economically. And the act of becoming more energy self-sufficient would be an incredible boom. If you just take electricity, late last year there was a study released which showed the suitability of all the big countries in the world for solar and wind. The U.S. ranked second in wind and third in solar in our capacity to economically generate electricity from it. Why are we importing this stuff? Why are we running the risk of putting all this stuff in the air when we could put so many more people to work? I'll just give you one example. If you build the windmills in America and assemble them here, you get 3,300 jobs for every $1 billion you spend on wind energy. You get 1,900 on solar. You get 870 on coal. If you look at, if we just fixed all the buildings in America, you get 7,000 jobs for every $1 billion you spend. And we could do half of what we were asked to do at Copenhagen at that big climate change conference in reducing our greenhouse gas emissions just by putting people to work fixing the buildings. Now, construction unemployment in America is 25%. We can't build more houses. There are not many more office buildings to build. We need to put people to work making them efficient. And you could do it. And interestingly enough, all the bills would be paid through savings on the electric rates.
So why it's so obvious and such a good idea, why isn't it an imperative?
Because change is hard, and because, let's say we wanted to, let's say you and I are competing for meeting New York's power needs for the next 10 years. And you say, I represent X energy company, sign with me, I'll get one supplier of low sulfur coal, I'll have one contractor to build the power plant, and all you, the utility, has to do, or the state has to do, is to pass the bills along to the consumers. I say, sign with me, I'll do it for less than half the cost, the bills won't go up nearly as much, I'll employ 8 times as many people, and I won't charge you nearly as much money to do it, but you have to do a zillion little things. That's what it is. We have to learn to deal with a lot of little things and let them amount to something big. But it's not that complicated. Once you start doing it, you do it over and over again. We've done this work. Look at the Empire State Building. The Empire State Building, this iconic New York building, is going to be the biggest, oldest building in the world with a LEED rating, Leadership in Environmental and Energy Design. Biggest one. They're going to cut utility use at least 38%. It'll pay for itself in approximately 6 years through utility savings only. They've got hundreds of people working there. Even had to clear off a floor at the Empire State Building to put up a factory there just to cut the glass and do the lighting. We could put America back to work if we took this seriously.
Right. I mean... Everybody said, when John F. Kennedy said we're going to the moon in 10 years, we all got behind that because we didn't want to be beaten. We didn't want to be embarrassed by the Soviet Union. Who knows what it was beyond that, but we didn't want to be embarrassed by the Soviet Union. So by God, we did it. And to me, that sounds far more impossible than what you're discussing
Absolutely.
here.
I just got back from Nevada. I went out there to give a speech and help a candidate who was running. And I was looking at Nevada. You know, they got killed in the, they didn't have a lot of, it wasn't the subprime mortgage thing that killed them so much as just over construction. They assumed the next 5 years would be like the last 5. Now they've got one of the 2 or 3 highest unemployment rates in the country. but the sun shines and the wind blows. They could become the first state in America to be completely energy independent, and it would put everybody back to work who lost their jobs and then some. And then people would come to Nevada not just to see Las Vegas, but to see what it looks like to see a whole state that doesn't import any energy for electricity.
Yeah, I always thought that
it would be amazing.
If we really wanted to return to unquestionable world leadership status, it would be this way, where the rest of the world would look at what we've accomplished and follow.
You know, the best thing about that, I know it's controversial with some people, the best thing about that stimulus bill is that only a third of it actually went to creating jobs. 2/3 of it went to keep state and local governments from laying off 1 million people and to give people a tax cut so they could still go to the grocery store. I mean, everybody's forgotten how bad it was in the beginning. But the other third went to creating new jobs, and that money is going to put us ahead in the race for a lot of these green technologies for years to come. It's just that you can't do this stuff overnight, so people don't feel it yet. And you can't expect them to be grateful because they don't feel it.
Does the momentum have to come from the private sector or from the government? Which way does it come from?
Both. In every successful country in the world today, you look at all the countries that have lower unemployment rates than we do, they have both a very vigorous private sector and not necessarily a big and overbearing, but an effective government policy. So if you know, for example, like here's what we know. We know the areas where we could grow jobs the fastest are small business, manufacturing, and clean energy. We know that. So if we put a little seed money in there, or we let small businesses write their equipment off quicker if they expand, or we have a manufacturing strategy, all three of which the president is working on, those are the things that will generate more job growth. We know that. The other thing we have to do is train people for the jobs. And let me just tell you one thing. This is the most important statistic no American knows practically. For the first time coming out of a recession in my lifetime and in yours, we're the same age, aren't we?
Yeah.
For the first time, this is serious, folks. I read in the unemployment report last month that for the first time, new job postings, that is, they will hire us all tomorrow morning. New job postings are opening up twice as fast as job hires. Partly because people can't move if their mortgage is worth more than their home, but mostly because of the skills mismatch. We just train people for the jobs that were open in the next few months. That'd be 5 million more jobs, and the unemployment rate would immediately drop from 9.6 to 6.9 just doing that. We got to look at these areas of opportunity and go after them. And you may have to have government help. For example, banks have got $1.8 trillion in cash uncommitted to loans. So maybe the government should offer loan guarantees, just like they do for SBA loans, for these building retrofits and other energy projects. There's some of that in the legislation. Well, I think we should do more of that. We ought to make the banks feel comfortable loaning us money again, now that they're well and the American people aren't well yet. And so we need to release the bank money into these energy projects and get the country going.
You know, do me a favor, come back sometime when you've put a little thought into these things.
Well, I still, even in my dotage when I have no power, spend about an hour a day studying the economy. Somebody needs to, and I think about it.
Nice job, man. The Clinton Global Initiative. Go to the, you can dial it up, right?
Thank you.
Yeah. Former President William Jefferson Clinton. Always a pleasure, my friend. Thank you very much. We'll be right back with Chromeo, everybody.
Closed captioning of this program is brought to you in part by Lexus of Richmond Hill, a dealership committed to your satisfaction.
I don't know if you heard about this new website I launched, Facebook.
You made the Facebook.
Yeah, groupies.
21st century.
Site got 2,200 hits within 2 hours.
$1 million isn't cool. You know what's cool? $1 billion.
This is our time. Welcome to Facebook.
The social network.
Come on, come on, come on.
A collection of treasures lies between these bumpers. Legendary engines. Industry gold. Awards out the tailpipe. Sounds like you just hit the jackpot.
Get cash discounts up to $82.50 plus 0%. Or ask about customer choice financing, the new way to own.
I believe that to be a great leader, you must always show great kindness. At Herzog Eye Institute, we've developed innovations in laser vision correction now used by eye surgeons worldwide. But our compassionate care, that's unique to us. I'm Cherry Tab of Herzog Eye Institute. Please be my guest for a complimentary assessment. Find out if you're a candidate for high-definition vision. Learn more at highdefinitionvision.com. Innovations for You by Herzog Eye Institute.
All right.
Hey!
Chill, guys. Just ignore him.
Your mom called. She wants her car back.
Poker can be a little intimidating, but not new Poker Lotto. Win up to $5,000 instantly by hitting a winning poker hand and up to $100,000 in the nightly draw. New Poker Lotto, raising the stakes on fun.
Join us again tomorrow. Dave welcomes Simon Baker, Nicole Snooki Polizzi, and Maroon 5. And now it's time for the Late Show Celebrity Lookalike Contest. And the winner is Brian Corcoran of Sioux Falls, South Dakota. Way to go, Brian. We'll be right back, tweeters.
Closed captioning provided in part by the new $5 WildStar Crossword Doubler Instant Ticket. With more games to play, now there are more ways to win with words.
An ancient force
found the body a few days ago.
has survived for 200 years.
One of your recent graduates was killed.
By living.
Are you a vampire?
As a child.
I need blood to live.
You okay?
From the director of Cloverfield.
You kill people. I do because I have to.
How do you protect a bond when you were cursed to destroy? Let me in.
In theaters October 1st.
Try ordering thick-cut Applewood smoked bacon on some other value menus, and this is what you get. But at Wendy's, you always get thick-cut Applewood smoked bacon. Now, even on our Junior Bacon Cheeseburger for only $1.89. So don't settle for this. Taste real value for a change at Wendy's.
You know when it's real. Solo Mobile here. Tired of the new guys dropping your calls whenever you leave your zone? Solo's network will hold on to them like its hands are covered in super glue, or whatever it is they use to stick price tags on coffee mugs. That stuff is unbelievable.
The new Ford Edge is so smart. It can show you the most fuel-efficient route to where you're going. It can find the nearest gas station.
Show destination.
But with combined fuel economy of only 9.5 liters per 100 kilometers, you won't need to find one very often. Say hello to the new Ford Edge. Quite possibly the world's smartest crossover.
Our next guests are an acclaimed duo from Montreal, Canada, and their new CD is entitled Business Casual. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Chromeo.
She says I'm not romantic. I say she's dramatic. I tell her alright, we can work it night by night. She says I'm not romantic, and I say she's dramatic. I tell her alright, we can work it night by night.
Check out our new Chevrolet Equinox. Just got it. It's really fuel efficient, which is good because we're always on the road. Just 6.1 liters per 100 highway kilometers. So Equinox gets better highway fuel efficiency than CR-V, RAV4, or Ford Escape Hybrid. And it's an IIHS top safety pick. Best of all, my Equinox is backed by the best coverage in Canada. Impressive, right? And so is the deal I got. And that's my Chevrolet Equinox.
If you don't love what you do, go find something you will. Centennial College. Start here, don't look back.
This is Rosehaven. Different doors, different windows, different designs, different neighborhoods, different features, different finishes, different expectations, different homes. Rosehaven Homes. It's different in here. Visit us at rosehavenhomes.com.
For all your window and door needs, call Antonio Miranda at Direct Vinyl